So congratulations on the film. Who takes a risk of having the ocean or the sea as the antagonist? I know you've done it before, Joachim, but I mean, it's very challenging, right?
Yes, for sure. But the truth is, once you get going and all the preparations and all of that is done, the actual filming process, at least to me, I'm sure Jack and Kim have some other opinions, but for me, the process is remarkably similar as just shooting on land. But I'm sure Jack and Kim will disagree with that.
Yeah. So Jack and Kim, nice seeing you. Okay, one of the things that surprised me is like we care about your characters, which is normal. I mean, but we really care about your characters, but you're always wearing a mask. But regardless of that, you gave us feelings and we care for you guys. How difficult was it for you to create this empathy with the audience, considering that you have all those huge elements to be able to be underwater? Who goes first?
I think what really, I'm just going to take it. I think what really helps is that as a cast, we were all like really bonded. And the thing is with those masks underwater with the headlight as well, is a little bit diffused in your face. So it's very dark on the set. It's very bright reflecting back. So I think it was kind of a case of like really listening to each other and really sort of taking our time and kind of just, yeah, I feel like giving that little bit extra because it's so insular with the mask on. Yeah, just giving that little bit extra, I think. But Joachim's a fantastic director, so he was always very good at nodding us in the right direction performance-wise.
And Noah, Jack Noah.
Yes. Yeah, so it's the same for me with a normal shoot. Like when I watched Tom Hardy in Dunkirk, when he was you could just see his eyes. I always thought, oh, I'd love to do something like that, because as long as you can see the actor's eyes, you should be able to see what's beneath, what's internally going on. Hopefully, if we're doing a good job. So like you said, thanks for saying that. That means a lot to actors. That's a massive compliment to say that you still got, what we were trying to give just through the eyes. So I just was going in with it the same as I would a normal job, did all the prep the same and tried to, act exactly the same. Hopefully, you can see it in the eyes.
And maybe I can just add, because one of the things I think that does connect you as an audience with the characters and with Jack and Kim during the movie is obviously a fair amount of the dialogue was recorded in sort of post as ADR, but some of it was kept, but maybe let's say, I don't know, 70% was probably recorded after the fact, but all the breathing sounds and the gasps and sort of all these sort of more guttural reactions, all of that was actually mined from the production track. So I think that part of the performance, just sort of the audio part of the performance, just, at least for me, connects you to what's going on the screen, even though a fair amount of the actual words are recorded as ADR. A lot of the emotion is in all of those breaths and gasps and sort of just more guttural expressions. So to me, that's one part of the performances also.
Yeah, because then you had to go back to studio to relive the situation. I was wondering if how good scuba divers are you?
Now,
great.
Before we started.
But great now.
I'd never done it before, so it was really new to me. I think Kit, you were kind of free diving, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd been scuba diving once before in Cambodia on like a Discover scuba dive and loved it. But free diving is more my sort of avenue. My partner's family all free dive, so every Christmas we have a bit of a tradition that we go free diving, we catch lobster, we eat it for Christmas dinner, and like it's kind of this family tradition. So yeah, the free diving aspect was more my sort of boat, but I just love the sea, so being able to do this was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's fair to say we got a fair amount of training from that job. So
Yeah.
we're pretty good scuba divers now, I imagine.
I'm asking because the
Absolutely.
first time I tried, I was totally claustrophobic. I had to go out. So I was wondering if you have had that anxiety attack at certain point, or there was no time with Joachim shooting all the time.
I think Joachim gave us a fair warning in the audition process. I think if I remember correctly, you said this is going to be like acting in an elevator in the dark underwater. So I hope you can deal with that. Like, okay. But we also had like some fantastic training in Malta beforehand with the team Dive Med, who were amazing. And they took us cave diving, which I never thought in my life that I would be up for doing, but the team was so like calm and just relaxed, and yeah, it was incredible. So I feel like that got us like really in that zone.
And I just want to add also that there is very little, very little of stunt doubles being used in the film. I'd say 99% of everything you see on the screen is Kim, Jack, and all the other cast members, because when I went into, obviously this is the second underwater film I've done, and going into the first one, Breaking Surface, we all sort of had the idea that, oh, we can probably get away with maybe 50-50 actors and stunt doubles. But what I discovered on that film was that so much of the performances is in the body language of the actors. So you can't just stick a stunt double in there and expect that to sort of portray the same emotion in the body language. So going into this film, I think I told Jack and Kim that, all right, we're going to be using a little bit of stunt doubles. Probably I was saying this mostly to ease your fears of being in the water nonstop. But in my mind, I knew that it's going to be all you. And I think I can think of 3 images in the entire movie that is not with the actual cast. So that's a long way of saying they are really, really good scuba divers by now.
That's great. So, Jack, your character, I think, well, that's what I understood, is that he's the one that starts all this plan, like going under and check the Charlotte from Second World War. Do you think how real is this story? Because I know that there are a lot of ships down there, even from the 1600s, from Spaniards going to America and all that. So, and yeah, if you can tell us if it was like something exciting for you being.
It was, a lot of interviews as well have been asking, oh, how did you prepare to get into that kind of fear of being in there? And I was like, do you know what? I didn't need to prepare because it was so scary. Like the first day, it was me and Alex Arnold in our first scene. And when you go down there, it's so dark. They turn the studio lights off. It's like 5 meters underwater, and it really is scary. Yeah, we were just scared of. I mean, by week 6, you kind of like fishing there. You just swim around, it's fine. But the first couple of weeks were super daunting, and I had to do a 30-meter shipwreck dive to get my advanced PADI course. And we didn't go in the shipwreck, but we kind of looked through the windows. And I just thought I'd never want to go in there because if you do get stuck, that at least if you're out in the open sea, you could make it up top, even if you're not supposed to with the bends and stuff. You're supposed to have a rest stop, but at least you could make it out. Whereas if you're in a ship, it's really hard to get out of there if you're stuck. So it is scary. So I was just really scared.
Kim, what was the biggest challenge? I mean, playing this like a underwater character. It's not always underwater. I mean, it's important.
I think the biggest, I kind of really enjoyed like the challenge of the more like stunt work. I like Jack says, it was scary down there. Like I feel like we all acknowledged at some point as a cast, we will have a little panicky moment. And we were like, it's cool. We're good. We've got each other. That's fine. But definitely shooting the scene with Arlo, who plays Logan, the sort of in the medical bay. that scene was definitely the most challenging, just because there is so much going on and Sam has to be in control, but obviously she's completely out of her depth. So I think shooting that, and also we had a couple of like interesting sound challenges to overcome. So it was like a chaotic scene and trying to catch the right place to put your line in, but I can't hear everybody properly, and trying to catch their eyes to see what's happening next, but while also trying to go through the scene and, you know, do what we do in his leg. And yeah, that was definitely the most challenge. I think there's a certain point where your body is like, you're pretending to panic, and then your nervous system goes, oh yeah, actually I'm kind of panicking. So yeah, but that was definitely the one for me.
Joachim, I would like to ask you, how did you balance the narrative of because this is like a family, a group of friends who met in paradise, let's call it, and then you have to develop their relationships and the story among themselves and their background, and it has to blend with the special effects, the scary situation, the sharks and all that. So how did you balance those two aspects of the film?
So yeah, no, I think so this is the first film that I've come to with a finished script, meaning I didn't write the screenplay for this one. I've both written and directed all the films I've done previously. So for me, it was a little bit of a new process coming into a project where there already was a script. But I think the script was kind of smart in that it gives us those, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes sort of fairly early in the movie where these characters, it's a little bit of a hangout movie. And all of these characters, we, as an audience, we learn their relationships and who they are through them just hanging out with each other. And then once we get going, we're, you know, it really doesn't stop. It just goes. So for me, the script was, you know, quite well structured in the way that we get those 15 minutes or whatever just to spend some time with the characters. And I just want to say also that we got a little lucky with the schedule. Originally, those 15 minutes that we spent with the characters was gonna be at the very start of the shooting schedule, but for reasons A, B, C, we ended up doing that almost as the very last stuff. And by then, all the cast had spent 2 months, probably even more, together through dive training and shooting the movie. So I think in those scenes, the actual friendships that developed on set shine through in the performances.
The locations were really beautiful. I would like to know if it was the Virgin Islands or it was somewhere else.
We're cheating.
You don't want to tell us?
We'll be honest here. No, we're cheating. It's Malta. But
Malta's really cool.
Yeah. Malta can be a little, you know, sort of Mediterranean barren, but I think for Levi's bar, we managed to find possibly the greenest spot in all of Malta. Yeah, I really like that location for Levi's bar. As it was written, it was more of a, you know, a standard bar, but we found this little spot where we said, it's like, hey, we can create Levi's dive bar in the sand essentially, and it just, I love that little location.
And Julian Sands, I think was his last movie.
Yes, and this is obviously it was a shock to all of us. It was only a couple of months after we had finished shooting that he disappeared. I think in the first few days after his disappearance, because all of us had come to know Julian as quite a forceful person and capable, and he was truly sort of a weathered man of the mountains. And I think we all held out hope for quite some time that he would, you know, come out of this. But as the days and the weeks went on, I guess we all had to sort of settle in the realization that he wouldn't be returning to us.
So, Joachim, is your background real?
It is. I'm in Turkey right now with my
Curfew?
family on
Curfew?
vacation, so it's all real.
Wonderful. And Kim, where are you right now?
I'm in London. It's
Okay.
definitely not as nice looking outside as Joachim's background.
And
Yeah,
Jack?
I'm in London.
Same. It's just been raining outside. I'm in Essex, just outside of London, which is basically,
Yeah.
it's very close to London.
So listen, thank you very much and congratulations on the film. And
Thank
Thank you.
yeah, I had a great time watching it.
Oh,
That's great.
so
Yeah, thank you.
Scary, and claustrophobic.
very
That's what
kind.
we were going for.
I would hate being stuck in. Oof. Yeah, I'm glad it's only a movie. Take care. Bye.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Lovely
much.
to meet you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.